Something within law enforcement specifically that I'm interested in is like criminal investigation. So like in a career that I was really interested in was forensic photography, like
Yeah,
taking
I read
photos
that.
of crime scenes
Yeah.
and stuff. And that's something I'm also interested in photography. It's one of my hobbies. So I feel like combining my interest in like crime and then also a hobby and something I like to do, that would be a good career maybe to explore and see if I'm interested in or good at. So that's something I'm going to look into.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. So let me talk to you about how the process generally works. ETU, Evidence Technician Unit or Forensic Unit, is a specialized unit. And what happens is when you graduate from the police academy, you become a police officer. You're actually placed in one of the 6 area districts. It takes an officer uh, 2 to 3 years to know what they need to know.
Hmm.
You can't apply for a specialized unit until those 3 years are up. So evidence technician is one of those units uh, that there's a high importance on science, math. You guys do a lot of different kind of scene surveillance and things of that nature. So if it's truly something you want to do, I would tell you to uh, start jogging your mind around grabbing some books that's
Hmm.
centered around science, blood splatter patterns, and I mean I'm just talking off the top of my head and some things of that
Yeah.
nature that would pique your interest, so you can have some thought of what you want to do. But typically, you have to wait 3 years before you are able to go into a specialized unit. Doesn't mean you can't. It won't happen. It just says
Hmm.
you have to go through that 3 year period that allows for you to grow.
Oh, it's all right. I was just wondering, so like you said it takes 3 years to be placed in those specific programs, but is the only way to do it through being like having experience as a police officer first and then being placed in that program, or would you have to get an education like a bachelor's degree in that specific field to be placed in that area?
So one of the requirements of the police department is that you do have some college background. Well,
Hmm.
the beauty of the department is uh, to be promoted to go to specialized units. They would prefer you to have a lot of that experience and a bachelor's in certain areas of criminal justice. However, once you become a police officer, they have what they call tuition reimbursement, where they send you to school and they pay for it. So you have an opportunity while you're working on the police department, if you don't have your degree or anything, you can do that as you go. If you're looking at being a part of a law enforcement agency coming out of college and getting right into forensics, I would urge you to go federal. Those are the jobs where typically they recruit you actually out of college. So federal jobs, FBI, CIA, ATF, U.S. Marshals, those jobs typically grab their candidates uh, from either retired police officers or some tenured police officers or right out of college.
Okay. And do you know like how difficult like becoming a federal like police officer is? Because I know my cousin, she's about to graduate from KU and she's interested in becoming a part of the FBI, but I it's a very long and difficult process and you have to go through a lot of training obviously to actually even be considered. So like do you know what that's like?
Typically, yeah. Unfortunately, sometimes it's about who you know to get your name in the door or some things of that nature. But recently, the FBI has done this huge push, especially for African American women. They they did this huge push to recruit women in this area. The issue is a lot of women in this area don't want to leave this area. And
Hmm.
once they recruit you, there's a great chance you won't be in Missouri, you won't be in St. Louis anymore. They will probably station you at a different site out of the state. And a lot of people are kind of afraid of that and won't go forward with the process. But they have done an outstanding job of recruiting and trying to fill certain positions. The issue comes when appointments are made. A lot of people don't want to leave the city.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as difficult as you think, because again, they have done a lot of different outreaches, especially with the Urban League. Uh, Congressman Clay, when he used to have this fair at Harris Stowe. Um, there's a few FBI hiring drives that they have, and trust me, I'm going to send you, once you give me your email, I'm going to shoot you all of these things when they're going to have them. The cadet information, I'll make sure I get you all of this stuff.
So Nina, now that you guys have connected, I can tell you that, like I said, I'm honored to have Coach Davis as a friend, and you haven't had me in class, but we've talked in class about who in your life are favorite doing people and who are favorite taking people.
Hmm.
Coach Davis is a favorite doing person. If you sincerely, have an interest and you're trying to figure out your place in the world, I encourage you to consider him part of your network now.
Okay.
And just like Miss Velasco and Dr. Smith and I are part of your network as well. So Coach Davis, obviously Nina's an impressive person, and she's going to make an impact, and we want to help her.
Absolutely.
Help her be thoughtful about these next steps. So,
Yeah.
and part of our conversation, hers and mine, were if you take a gap year, which is an interesting thing, Nina had this answer right away. Do you want to make as much money as possible, or do you want to work in your field and discover where you might fit? So, so I think, Nina, you're seeing some options out there. You talked about the community college piece, the state university piece, the gap year piece.
Mhm.
I think some of the things Coach Davis shared really might be a contender for you as you think about what the fit is. So, and we all want to know you 5 years from now and 10 years from now, because we know you're going to be an important part of our city.